viewers, welcome to Akshay Vlogs and Crafts. Today, let's hear about Badrachala Ramadasar. There was once a boy who lived in a small village in the state of Andhra Pradesh. One day he found a very beautiful parrot and, enchanted by it, brought it home. He kept the parrot in a cage and enjoyed looking at it daily. As the poor parrot looked miserable and wanted to fly back to its home, every day the parrot sang Rama, 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 and so on. The boy laughed with pleasure every time the parrot sang this. Delighted by the sweet voice of the small bird, the boy kept this parrot for 12 days before feeling sympathy for it and letting it go. The parrot flew away in happiness, delighted to be with its family again. Soon the boy grew into adulthood, married, led a happy householder life, and died in old age, satisfied with his life. This boy got reborn as Kancharla Gopana in 1620 CE in the village of Neelakondapalli in northern Andhra Pradesh, the only son to a simple Brahmin family. His father was Lingana Murthy and his mother was Kamamba. Kanchana Gopana's uncle Akana was the administrative head in the court of Qutub Shahi Sultan Abdul Hassan Tana Shah, the Mughal ruler of the area. Akana, due to his influence in the king's court, secured Kanchana Gopana a job as Tahsildar, revenue collector of Palvocha Paragana. Along with his wife Kamala, who was caring at the time, Kanchana Gopana went to Palvoncha Paragana and did his official duties honestly and kindly. The people of Palvoncha Paragana loved and respected Kanchana Gopana and listened to anything he said. It was around this time that Kanchana Gopana became an ardent devotee of Lord Ramachandra and composed many Carnatic music songs on him. Some famous compositions among many others are Antarama Mayam and Badrachala Ramadasar. Also a son was born to Kanchana Gopana and his wife Kamala. They named him Raghu Rama. The Mughal king Tana Shah had a wife named Chitara, who disliked Kanchana Gopana because she had hoped the job of Tahsildar would go to her own nephew. Queen Sitara one day sent some of her trusted men to kill Kanchana Gopana at the dead of night, so that once he died, her nephew could ascend the post. One night when Kanchana Gopana was walking home through a forest after collecting revenue from the people, Sitara's people jumped out from behind some trees and attacked Kanchana Gopana, who prayed to Lord Rama to save him. Lord Rama, pleased with the humble devotion of Gopana, came in the form of a fierce tiger and scared away Sitara's men. Gopana, with tears of happiness in his eyes, knew that the tiger was Lord Rama and composed a kriti then and there, in which he asked Rama that now that you gave your darshan, I want the darshan of Sitama Tali. One day, a few years later, Gopana went to Badrachalam for a fair and also to see the holy site of Pranasala, where Rama stayed with Sita and Lakshmana for some time during his exile. Near Badrachalam, there was also another site where Shabari had lived before getting moksha from Lord Rama. However, Gopana was very disappointed when he saw the temple of Lord Rama there, which held lots of significance for Telugu people, because the temple was the place where Potana had received a darshan from Rama to write the Bhagavatam. The temple was very dilapidated and unkept. No priest did puja in it, and it was utterly neglected by the people of Badrachalam. Gopana decided to raise funds and reconstruct the temple himself with the help of his wife, son, and the people. Everyone donated something of theirs like gold necklaces, bangles, rings, gold coins, etc. for the reconstruction of the temple. And along with Gopana's wealth, they made a pretty hefty sum of money. It was during this time that Sri Rama was very pleased with Gopana, appeared to him in a dream and gave him the name Ramadasu, servant of Lord Rama. From there on, Gopana was known as Ramadasu, one of the great devotees of Lord Rama. Even after emptying the coffers, Ramadasu still did not have nearly enough to build the appropriate temple for his favorite god. The people of Palwancha Paragana asked him to use the money from his revenue and promised to repay the whole amount after the crop harvest. But after some persuasion, Ramadasu sent a message to King Tanasha for permission to use the revenue money to build Rama temple in Badrachalam. The message was given to Sitara's jealous nephew, to whom all messages for the king came first. Sitara told her nephew to not tell King Tanasha about Ramadasu's message, so that they would soon have an opportunity to imprison Ramadasu on the grounds that he used the revenue money without the king's permission. After a while, when no message came from the king, Ramadasu assumed that the construction of the Rama Alaya was approved and began to work on it. With help from the people and his own devotion, Ramadasu soon reached the completion of his temple, spending 600,000 rupees of the land revenue. However, he encountered one problem which perplexed him highly. He was worried about how to get a Sudarshana Chakra to put on the main crest of the temple. One night in a dream, Lord Rama came to Ramadasu and told him to take a bath in the river. When he woke up, Ramadasu went to the river, and after finishing his bathing ritual, much to his delight, he found a Sudarshana Chakra on the river, and after praying to it, fixed it on the temple. Now the temple was finished and once more stood on its golden beautiful form. Every day there were numerous rituals and pujas done for Lord Rama in the Badrachala Rama Alaya. One day, Ramadasu's only son, Raghu Rama, died at the early age of 12 by falling into a hot vessel. In his unhappiness and deep despair, Ramadasu composed a kriti to Lord Rama, telling him of his misery and surrendering to him. It is said that Lord Rama sent Hanuman to Badrachalam, and as Hanuman's shadow passed over the dead body of the boy came back to life. All were astonished at this, but soon came to know that this was not the last in many miracles to come. Soon King Tanasha came to know that Ramadasu had used the funds for building a temple without his permission, and became enraged. He had him brought to his court and questioned him of his actions. Ramadasu replied that he had sent a message, but Tanasha believed him to be lying. He asked him whether he felt what he did was wrong, and Ramadasu replied that he did not. He said the money does not belong to a king but Lord Rama, the ultimate salvation. And if money is used for Lord Rama, it is never wrong. Ramadasu then started praising Lord Rama in the form of kritis and recounted Sri Ram's story to the court of King Tanasha. Being a Mughal king, Tanasha was not pleased at all, and after dismissing him from his job, had Ramadasu imprisoned in the Golconda fort, which is near Hyderabad. Ramadasu would only be released when the 600,000 rupees he had spent was replaced, and if he promised never to pray to Lord Rama again and never sing kritis on him. Ramadasu had full faith in Rama that he would release him from prison, and for many years composed hundreds of kritis and kirtanas on Rama, Sita and Lakshmana. From his prison cell, he would compose a number of kritis which are still famous today, such as Paluke, Bangara Mayena, Kodanda Bani and Taraka Mantra Mo. In some kritis such as Nanu Bravamani Cheppave Sitama Tali, he asked Sita Devi to ask her husband to liberate him, because Lord Rama does not seem to hear him. In many of the kritis, Ramadasu took a sorrowful tone, and when in despair that his Lord Rama has forgotten him, wrote kritis like Ishvaku Kula Tilaka, in which he reminds Rama of the temple he built him and the jewelry he bought for his Sita's and Lakshmana's statues. Ramadasu accuses Rama of being indifferent to his devotees' sufferings, but then feels repentant and writes kritis of total surrender. King Tanasha had Ramadasu suffer lots of physical pain also, to make him lose faith in his Rama. He had hot iron rods burned on Ramadasu's bare back. ground spices sprayed on those burns to make them more painful than they already were, make him carry heavy iron weights, had him whipped 100 times every day with not only a leather lash but a spiked iron ball, and fed him spoiled food. No matter what Tanasha did, Ramadasu never lost faith in Sri Rama and continued praying to him through his compositions. There was once when, after a strenuous day of physical labor, Ramadasu was extremely tired and weak. Tanasha had saltless bitter bread brought for Ramadasu so that he could enjoy the sight of a hungry Ramadasu trying to take down the horrible food. But Ramadasu, after taking a bite of the bread, sighed in pleasure and composed a song called Ento Ruchira, in which he praised Lord Rama with relish, saying that Rama's name was so sweet, and by saying it, one was filled with happiness and peace. Ramadasu suffered endlessly for 12 years, when Lord Rama decided that his devoted servant had suffered enough. Rama and Lakshmana took the form of two young warriors named Ramoji and Lakshmoji and came into Tanasha's bedchamber in the middle of the night. They woke up Tanasha and presented him with much more than 600,000 rupees, asking him to release Ramadasu. After obtaining a receipt of release from Tanasha, Ramoji and Lakshmoji went to the jailer of Ramadasu and presented him with the receipt. The jailer then released Ramadasu. But before Ramadasu could see who had saved him, Ramoji and Lakshmoji had disappeared. When examining the coins that Ramoji and Lakshmoji had given him, Tanasha saw that they had a strange emblem on them, and after referring with his ministers, he realized that the emblem was that of son of Dasarath, Lord Ramachandra himself. Tanasha's eyes were opened, and he realized that Ramadasu's Rama really did exist, and he had been fortunate enough to receive darshan from him. Ramadasu also realized that Ramoji and Lakshmoji were none other than Ram and Lakshmana come to release him from the prison of Tanasha. But he was distraught that while he, who had served Rama with devotion since a young age, did not receive darshan from him, while Tanasha, who had lived a life of materialism, had received the blessed darshan of Ram and Lakshman. He was so miserable about this, and that he was about to end his life, when Rama appeared to him in a dream and explained to him the reason of his jailing. Rama told him that in his previous birth, Kanchana Gopana had imprisoned a parrot for 12 days and had made fun of the parrot while it was chanting Rama's name, so the boy had to suffer his bad karma. Rama told him that caging any animal is very bad karma, so the boy had to suffer 1 year for every day that he jailed the bird. While Tanasha made fun of him for singing praises of Lord Rama, Rama then told Ramadasu that his karma was now liberated and he was free from any sin. Once he died a natural death in this life, Ramadasu would get moksha, and then Rama showed Ramadasu his true form, with Mata Sita at his side. Thus blessed, Ramadasu spent the rest of his life doing service to this temple in Badrachalam, and at the age of 60 died and merged with Lord Rama. Before that, Tanasha, who thought of all this as a miracle of Allah, donated the money given to him by Ram and Lakshman to the Badrachalam temple, and thus every year at Ram Navami, the temple at Badrachalam built by Ramadasu receives gifts from the people. Thank you friends. Bye bye friends. Please like, share and subscribe. Bye bye.